Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, one on marking tools. I want to use my blue dyed laser and try it out on a few different hand tools with different finishes to see how well you can mark them to customize your own stuff so your colleagues won't steal it, or just as a little project or a idea. For this, I have chosen one that is basically a high polish, and it also has factory engraving on it. This is the kind of engraving that just wears away after some time, and I really want to compare it to my blue dyed laser to see if it's more durable. These ones are kind of a matte finish, but still stainless steel and a bit curved to see how much the curve hinders the engraver. This one has like a matte chrome finish. These are very cheap ones, so the cheaper ones are usually like finished with something, so because it's cheaper to do. And these ones are my Nipex pliers, and these are very coarse cast iron or cast steel. I want to engrave straight onto the casting to see how well that works. I'm starting off with this spanner here. It has again a matte stainless steel finish, no coating on it. So this should be relatively easy for the engraver to do. I got these settings, 100% power on a 10 watt laser and a 2 millimeter per second speed. And here's the result of our first engraving. There is it. Really nice, sharp and deep black engraving. Now I had to use black Sharpie in order to get the laser to stick. It was apparently too reflective, this chrome moly alloy that is used for most tools. Apparently has a completely different absorption rate than like normal steel I use for knife making. But a little bit of Sharpie and it worked beautifully. Now for my next tool, I'm gonna use the one, the really shiny polished one with the factory engraving, and I'm gonna put mine, again right here. And then we can see a comparison how good this looks compared to the, factory engraving that was probably done with an IR laser, since they are way faster than this one. And this was the engraving on the chrome high polished one. And I think I made it a bit small, but it looks much better than the original engraving, because this is basically white, and how well these last. And this one, you can feel it with your fingernail, so it is in there for good, and it is a very nice deep black color, and reasonably sharp in resolution, as sharp as the engraver allows on a 10 watt laser. I think this is, if you look at it side by side, you look at this one, you look at this one. If you make, for steel engraving, you could make the lines a bit thicker and the whole thing a bit bigger, obviously. And then it would look much better than, standard IR laser engraving on steel. And for last, I'm gonna put in these two pliers here, with the rough cast iron and the matte chrome finish, which are also tools. I think these are very nice to engrave, to personalize your stuff. I'm gonna put it in here in the middle, I think. For this one, just here at the top. Just, to see if it actually works, because it is a very rough casting, but at least it is very, very matte and very dark, so it should absorb the laser pretty nicely. And now we are done with the last engravings. This is the one on the matte chrome finish, very nice looking, looks basically just like the other ones. And the fact that it is a coating on top of the steel is no problem. I put black Sharpie on it, just to make it a bit easier for the laser to get it. And it looks again very deep black, very good contrast, very nice looking. Now for the casting, yeah, not so much. I mean, there is something in it, but as you can see, the surface is just way too crude that, it is in. If I put it close to the camera and you look, the engraving is in. It did work, but because the surface is so rough, you can't tell that it's in. You know, it can't go that deep unless you do very many passes. And by that point, you know, you're probably out of focus. Speaking of the focus, actually wasn't that much of an issue. The stuff that I engraved was pretty small, but on the smaller ones, you know, you are well into the radius. You can see the radius right here. If I put it like this, so the ends of these were not in ideal focal range, but you can't tell the difference. So slight radii is not that much of an issue. And I would call this project today a success. You definitely can do tool markings on all sorts of tools, you know, just the rough casted ones. I mean, there aren't that many you have in your toolbox. Most of them is going to be sockets or spanners. And given that the matte chrome finish on the tongs worked, there's no reason why you couldn't engrave sockets with the same finish, provided you have a rotary attachment to put the socket in. But yeah, no reason why that should not work. Very happy with the result. That was it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. If you did, then consider subscribing and giving the video a like, and then I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.